What's that last line? Oh, he's gay. Oh, yeah, see, straight guys don't say that. There's nothing wrong with being gay in any way, but he definitely is.
Why is he so angry?
Ryan Reynolds is in a complete meltdown after his buddy Hugh Jackman blew the lid off their so-called bromance.
An impassioned kiss?
Turns out Blake had a good reason to hit on Baldoni. Finally, someone she would call a real man.
He's also very charismatic. Like a gay guy.
Is Blake Lively a beard? Like, is she there just to produce kids and to give him that family image?
And no doubt, Ryan might be shocked by his friend's betrayal, but honestly, what else can you expect from a guy who got kicked out of his dream project at Marvel?
And like trying to normalize all of these gay jokes, but nobody's actually asking him to do that.
And you've got to admit, a lawsuit is supposed to be a personal issue between a few individuals, but this one has spiraled into a Hollywood-wide catastrophe.
He was, in fact, a part of the bullying that happened to Justin Baldoni.
And somehow, the fallout is reaching way beyond just the obvious actors. Co-stars, crew members, even the poor set cleaners have found themselves dragged into this mess.
Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, will be deposed, and I suspect that might be making Ryan Reynolds extremely nervous, and I'll tell you why.
But the real kicker here is Hugh Jackman. Yeah, the beloved Wolverine has somehow found himself at the center of all this because of his connection to Ryan Reynolds. And let's just say, this connection isn't as simple as you might think.
He was, in fact, a part of the bullying that happened to Justin Baldoni.
This poor guy's career in the MCU is on the line now, and it's all tied back to this lawsuit. And that is why he spilled a few shocking yet disturbing truths about his relationship with Ryan Reynolds. Truths that are probably making Reynolds sweat bullets right now.
The love interest of his best friend's wife, and the guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband, and me as his best mate. Holy shit. What the hell are you doing messing with my best buddy's wife?
And honestly, he would have never betrayed him. But this time, it was all about saving his career. Jackman was supposed to be gearing up for the next X-Men or Deadpool movie. But now, there are murmurs that he might not be in the picture anymore. Can you even imagine the fallout if Marvel really lets him go?
He's being awarded for his contributions with a deposition, all right?
The end of his career might just be written in red ink, and it's all thanks to this tangled web involving Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and Justin Baldoni. Jackman, for his part, has been trying to stay out of it, but we all know how that goes.
Baldoni's legal team wants to get the full scope of Reynolds' conduct during the time that It Ends With Us was being filmed.
Eventually, you can only remain silent for so long before you're forced to speak up. And when he spoke, it was nothing short of a bombshell.
Ryan Reynolds' bromances, his various bromances over the years. We've talked about him and Jake Gyllenhaal, and obviously this has been a bromance that has been very much thrown in the public's face.
Now, don't get it twisted. Hugh Jackman didn't exactly have an innocent pass in all this. If anything, his relationship with Reynolds might have been the very reason he's in this mess in the first place.
Ryan's kind of perpetually highly publicizing his bromances is something that I find to be quite strange, right? Mostly because he's a 48-year-old man, Ryan Reynolds. He has 4 kids, and he seems to dedicate a lot of time and resources.
The public's obsession with their bromance became more than just jokes and friendly banter. It got weird, really weird.
And why does he gush about his love for Hugh Jackman more than he does his own wife?
The jokes about their closeness, the marriage comparisons, they've all been red flags that no one really picked up on until now.
Like financial resources to trying to convince the public that these bromances are perfectly normal. And we're not really asking for that convincing. Like, I don't need people to convince me that guys can hang out with one another, but he feels like he has to make that effort. So he's like, nothing's weird here, nothing's weird, bromances are so normal.
And when you throw in rumors about Jackman's sexuality, his divorce, and his public relations strategies, it's no wonder that his involvement in this lawsuit has become such a topic of conversation. But what's most interesting is how Reynolds has handled all of this.
There's no female equivalent to the term bromance. The female equivalent is friends. And so the fact that we need a term to describe 2 men going out to dinner, I think, is very revealing about what men are allowed or are not allowed to do.
The bromance between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman has long been a source of amusement for their fans. With their playful back and forths, social media jabs, and countless moments shared in public, it's been easy to view their relationship as just a typical celebrity friendship.
and how much self-policing there is when it comes to their relationships with other men. So bromance is almost this permission for men to connect and to show love to each other.
But the deeper you look, the more it becomes clear that this bromance might be more than just jokes. And honestly, it's starting to get a little strange.
It's a weird thing for them to be trying to constantly tell us, and he's always playing this role of kind of making a lot of gay jokes and like trying to normalize all of these gay jokes, but nobody's actually asking him to do that, not the gay community.
At the heart of it, Reynolds and Jackman's bond isn't just about cracking jokes and taking playful shots at each other. There's an undeniable affection that goes beyond what most people would consider a casual friendship.
No judgment from me, but Hugh Jackman has been plagued with rumors of homosexuality throughout his entire career. It has been speculated.
They've publicly called each other brothers, but it's hard not to notice the intimacy in their interactions, especially when Reynolds makes comments that go beyond typical male bonding.
There's nothing wrong with being gay in any way, but he definitely is. Oh, he is. This is from 2017.
Over the years, the two have spent a ridiculous amount of time together, whether it's doing promotional events, posting personal moments online, or just hanging out behind the scenes. Their connection seems to go far beyond the realm of just buddies, with moments where they seem almost inseparable.
Why is he so angry?
Reynolds has openly compared his relationship with Jackman to that of a marriage, which, frankly, is a weird thing to say when you're married to someone else, namely Blake Lively. This comparison isn't just an offhand comment either. Reynolds has mentioned it several times, particularly when discussing the depth of his bond with Jackman.
That's funny. That's funny to steal Ryan Gosling's little moment there. I'm willing to commit to a bit. An impassioned kiss?
In interviews, he's referred to their relationship in a way that mirrors a spousal connection, using phrases like genuinely rooting for you and we rely on each other for advice to describe their dynamic.
Is this what 47 and 55-year-old men, do you feel as though, even with friends you do business with, that your friendship is like a marriage?
That's all fine and well if it's just a friendship, but when you throw in the context of his marriage to Lively, those statements start to feel a little off-kilter.
Gay men they have a light in their eyes that straight men don't have. We don't.
Let's not forget that Reynolds has also made public statements about his wife, Blake Lively, that could be interpreted as less than affectionate. He's often joked about her in ways that border on uncomfortable, making comments about how she handles their family life or his sacrifices for their marriage.
Look at his dead eyes. Straight. Gay. So that's all that's happening. He's a closeted gay man, and that's just, when you deny yourself that truth, you're just gonna do weird, crazy shit.
While these comments may be made in jest, the repeated nature of them, especially when compared to the gushing praise he heaps on Jackman, raises questions. It's not that Reynolds is openly bad-mouthing his wife, but the fact that he seems more emotionally open and intimate with Jackman than with Lively speaks volumes. It's almost as if the lines between affection for Jackman and the coldness in his marriage to Lively are starting to blur.
And everyone around you is gonna have a hard time because you're like trying to fit this square piece in a circle.
Behind closed doors, their friendship appears to have been even more intense than we've been led to believe. In private conversations, Reynolds and Jackman have both referred to each other as life partners. That's a phrase you don't toss around lightly, especially when you're married to someone else.
What he's saying is what I was trying to introduce in a more polite way by taking you guys through these like lavender marriages that actually happen in Hollywood. I know they happen for a fact, and there's just something here, this underlying anger that doesn't make sense.
And while fans of their on-screen chemistry have always enjoyed the banter, the deeper bond they share has always been a bit more than meets the eye. Jackman, who was one of the first people to welcome Reynolds into the X-Men universe, has also opened up about their relationship in a way that suggests a far more personal connection than just professional camaraderie.
Just looks at the circumstance, reads the messages, and is like, okay, I know what's going on here. And now, but instead we've got to go through this court case, and it's got to be like $400 million, and it's all crazy, all because Ryan is not happy with who he is on the inside.
The thing that's striking here is the intimacy that they share, which, when compared to Reynolds' relationship with Lively, starts to look a little fishy. In interviews, Jackman has praised Reynolds for being an unbelievable listener, and the two have gone on long walks together to talk about life and their careers.
And I start to ask myself, is Blake Lively a beard? Like, is she there just to produce kids and to give him that family image? Because once you start to add it all up,
This kind of emotional openness isn't something you typically see between two straight men in the Hollywood scene. It's all well and good to have a close friendship, but the frequency and depth of their personal exchanges seem to point to something more than mere camaraderie.
and I don't think he's jealous. I think he's possessive because she's his property.
Now, on to Blake Lively's role in all this, because let's face it, if there's one person who's been shoved into the spotlight more than anyone else in this saga, it's her. The idea that Blake Lively is merely a beard for Ryan Reynolds has gained traction, especially as rumors swirl about Reynolds' true feelings and potential struggles with his identity.
I knew that this was another fake Me Too. I knew she was Amber Heard 2.0. I said it from day one since I heard about this case. So do not take this as I think, oh, you know, she's some poor victim and men are bad and Ryan Reynolds is bad. No, we're talking about this particular case, this particular situation.
For those unfamiliar with the term, a beard is someone who acts as a cover for another person's identity, often in terms of sexual orientation. In the context of Ryan and Blake's marriage, the idea that Blake is a beard has gained significant weight. This theory suggests that Lively's role is primarily to maintain the image of a happy, traditional family, while Reynolds could potentially be hiding something deeper.
So you can start to put the picture in your mind. I don't think this man gives a damn about his wife, as Candace said.
The narrative around their marriage has always been framed as one of love and mutual respect, but the cracks are beginning to show. Blake, an A-list actress in her own right, has been positioned as the perfect wife in the eyes of the public. But if you dig deeper, there are whispers that her role in this marriage might be more about appearances than anything truly meaningful.
And why does he gush about his love for Hugh Jackman more than he does his own wife?
Blake's public persona has often aligned with that of the perfect Hollywood wife, attending events, making adorable family appearances with Reynolds, and always showing up with a smile. But behind that perfect image, rumors about her emotional affair with Justin Baldoni have begun to surface, and it's looking like the perfect facade is crumbling.
Is this what 47 and 55-year-old men, do you feel as though, even with friends you do business with, that your friendship is like a marriage?
Lively's emotional connection with Baldoni has been speculated to be one of the main catalysts for the legal drama between her, Reynolds, and Baldoni. And let's not forget that this affair, or whatever it was, has now become part of the bigger legal battle that's spiraling out of control.
I think the secret sauce to a long-lasting Hollywood friendship is not too dissimilar to having a partner or a marriage.
If these allegations are true, then it's no surprise that Reynolds might be going to great lengths to keep the public from seeing what's really going on behind closed doors. He's been accused of manipulating the media and using his Hollywood connections to control the narrative about Blake and Baldoni, even pushing for certain things to be said about Baldoni in public that weren't true.
Reynolds told Jackman during their interview, "I am genuinely rooting for you all the time. I want you to win. It's the same way I feel about Blake. As I'm rooting for her, I know she's rooting for me, and that's why we're so connected."
But the most shocking detail in all of this might be the idea that Blake was never really Reynolds' true partner. Instead, she might have been the perfect public facade, a cover for Reynolds to hide his true feelings, particularly when it comes to his bond with Hugh Jackman. Some have suggested that Lively's emotional affair with Baldoni was just the breaking point for Reynolds, exposing deeper cracks in their marriage that had been there for a while.
So he's comparing his relationship with his wife with his friend, with his buddy.
Perhaps Blake was never more than a well-crafted image, a perfect fit for Hollywood's expectations of a movie star marriage, while Reynolds struggled with his identity behind the scenes. If that's the case, then this whole lawsuit is just one small piece of the puzzle, a piece that reveals more than anyone ever expected.
That's what men do? That's what y'all do? Okay.
And I bet you don't know about Hugh Jackman's divorce from Deborah Lee Ferris in September 2023.
He recently divorced his wife of 27 years. Her name is Deborah Lee Furness. 27 years is a very long time to be married. They announced their separation.
The timing of this separation was especially telling, as it occurred amidst growing speculation surrounding Jackman's sexuality. While the divorce itself was a significant personal event, it also became part of a larger public relations strategy. one that seemed to be carefully orchestrated to reshape Jackman's image within the industry.
They announced their separation to the public in September of 2023.
As Hollywood continues to value the public perception of its stars more than ever, it's no surprise that Jackman's team would take calculated steps to manage his image, especially when rumors about his sexuality had been circulating for years. Jackman, who had been married to Deborah Lee Ferris for over 2 decades, had long been the subject of whispered speculation about his sexuality. Though he had always denied these rumors, the public's curiosity about his personal life remained a constant.
Now, just to plot that on a timeline for you, that was in the midst of the principal filming for Deadpool and Wolverine, which got abruptly paused in that September due to the SAG-AFTRA strike. The strike began in June, I believe, and in September, Hugh Jackman announces that he and his wife are separating.
His divorce, which was announced in a rather low-key manner, appeared to be a strategic move, one designed to reshape the narrative surrounding his personal life. While many may have assumed the divorce was a personal decision, it's hard to ignore the fact that it aligned perfectly with the growing need for Jackman to distance himself from certain perceptions in the public eye.
But Hugh Jackman has been plagued with rumors of homosexuality throughout his entire career. It has been speculated for a host of reasons.
The use of public relations strategies to manage celebrity personas is hardly a new phenomenon in Hollywood. What made Jackman's divorce so interesting, however, was the timing. As the speculation about his sexuality intensified, Jackman's PR team seemed to take charge of the narrative, carefully controlling how the story was presented to the public. By announcing the divorce, they were able to redirect attention away from the rumors and instead focus on Jackman's personal growth and future prospects.
He was 28 years old when they got married. She was 41 years old. So many people were saying right off the bat, no, this guy is using her as a beard, which is a term that people use when you're in like one of these cover marriages.
In doing so, they effectively put an end to much of the gossip that had plagued him for years, all while maintaining his carefully cultivated image as a beloved Hollywood figure. The calculated nature of this move was clear, especially considering the sensitive subject matter at play. The manipulation of public perception is a tool that Hollywood stars and their PR teams have long used to control their images. For Jackman, this tactic was likely essential in protecting his career, as the rumors about his sexuality had the potential to damage his carefully crafted public persona.
And like I told you, that accusation, it can be real. In a lot of circumstances, it goes on a lot in Hollywood, and we'll get into that in my book club when we read Hollywood Babylon.
As an A-list actor, Jackman had to maintain an image that aligned with the expectations of Hollywood's elite, and part of that image involved carefully managing how the public perceived his personal life. The divorce wasn't just a personal decision, it was also a strategic one, designed to keep Jackman's image intact and shield him from further scrutiny.
Really flamboyant character in the Broadway play, The Boy from Oz. That was back in 2003. The story is about an openly gay singer-songwriter named Peter Allen.
Jackman's PR team didn't just work to reshape his image in the wake of the divorce. They also played a key role in manipulating the ongoing rumors about his sexuality. While Jackman had always denied the claims, his public relations team likely saw the benefit in fueling the speculation just enough to keep him in the public eye without allowing it to spiral out of control.
And what stood out to them in that production was the fact that Hugh Jackman opted to kiss his male co-star throughout this production, even though in the original screenplay, there was no kiss between the male stars.
By maintaining a certain level of ambiguity, they were able to keep the conversation alive without letting it overshadow his career. This strategic approach helped Jackman navigate the treacherous waters of Hollywood's public relations game, where any misstep could lead to career-ending consequences.
Anyways, here's a little snippet of that play.
In addition to the manipulation of his personal life, Jackman's PR team worked tirelessly to position him as a sympathetic figure in the public's eyes. The narrative they constructed around his divorce portrayed Jackman as a man who had grown and evolved, someone who was now focusing on his career and future. This shift in focus was crucial in reestablishing Jackman as a Hollywood icon, one who was capable of moving forward despite the challenges he faced. The divorce, while personal in nature, became part of a larger story that served to solidify Jackman's place in the industry, showing him as someone who could overcome adversity and emerge stronger than ever.
And the rumors just kept happening and kept happening throughout his career. They became so persistent and consistent that it culminated in an interview on 60 Minutes Australia, where he and his wife at the time, Deborah Furness, responded, and she was quite frustrated about people always asking whether or not her husband was in fact gay.
Now, shifting focus to Ryan Reynolds, there's no denying that his ego and control issues have played a significant role in the ongoing drama that's unfolded around him. Reynolds has long been seen as one of Hollywood's nicest guys, with a carefully crafted public persona that portrays him as the charming, witty, and relatable actor. However, as the recent events surrounding Justin Baldoni and his own marriage to Blake Lively have shown, there's a darker side to Reynolds' persona, one that involves a deep need for control and manipulation.
It's a lie. It's just the bottom line, so it's just offensive. If he was gay, fine, he would say he's gay. It has gotten so out of whack that they say it's stupid, and yeah, it's annoying because it's not true.
That's right, so you as an actor, you can't be able to sing, dance.
Yeah.
Reynolds has been accused of using his considerable Hollywood influence to shape the narrative surrounding not only his own life, but also the lives of those around him, particularly Justin Baldoni. Allegations have surfaced that Reynolds used his power to blackball Baldoni, leveraging his connections within the industry to undermine Baldoni's career. This behavior isn't just about controlling his own image, it's about using his position of power to diminish others in an effort to maintain dominance. In the cutthroat world of Hollywood, this kind of behavior is common, but it speaks volumes about Reynolds' own insecurities and need for control.
It ends with us promotional skit that had nothing to do with promoting the movie, which was about domestic violence, where Ryan directed it and he brought in his mom and Blake was in the background. We learned that.
At the heart of this situation is Reynolds' narcissism, a trait that has been increasingly difficult to ignore as more details of his actions have come to light. His need for control, his manipulation of others, and his willingness to use his power to harm those who cross him all point to a deeply narcissistic personality.
That he was displaying sociopathic tendencies early on, allegedly. So I've been kind of slow walking you guys to understand that there could be a source of that anger.
This isn't the charming, witty guy that Hollywood fans have come to know and love. This is someone who sees the world through a lens of self-interest, using whatever means necessary to maintain his image and his dominance.
Oh, he's gay. Oh, yeah, see, straight guys don't say that. Straight guys don't say that. And that's, I'm not some like conservative, and I'm like, men gotta be men. Just straight guys don't say that.
This dark side of Reynolds is a far cry from the persona he spent years cultivating. His public image has always been that of a charming, funny guy, someone who's easy to root for. But as the events surrounding his marriage to Blake Lively and the lawsuit with Justin Baldoni unfold, it becomes clear that there's much more to Reynolds than meets the eye. His actions have shown a side of him that's manipulative, controlling, and willing to go to any lengths to protect his ego and his public image. And as the story continues to unravel, it's becoming more and more evident that the man behind the jokes might be far more complex and far more dangerous than anyone ever imagined. What's going to happen next is a matter of time. Stay tuned and don't forget to hit that subscribe button